Hey y'all, it's your friendly neighborhood therapist. And real quick, so a friend of mine sent me a video of another creator, and it brought up something that I had been thinking about anyway. So let's talk about it for a minute because I want to make some things clear and ask some questions. So with the ICE raids that are occurring, and with all the protests that are occurring, and with like the Latinas for Trump founder or leader or whoever now denouncing Trump and saying, this is not what we voted for. Yes, it is. But the reaction to her saying that is, honey, yes, it is what you voted for, and that's why we don't care. We're not going to help you. We have no empathy because you wanted this. You just thought it wouldn't be you. And it would be because you're brown. And what did you think was going to happen? But here's what the elephant in the room, and this is what the other content creator was speaking on. The elephant in the room is that no one really wants to talk about the history of the interracial tension and strain and relationship between specifically brown and black communities. Any of your Latina communities, whether it be Mexican, Dominican, Cuban, any of them, there is a very sordid history there, a very hurtful, painful history there. Now, that is not to say that there weren't plenty of instances where we had alliances and where we fought together in the struggle. There's definitely that too. However, we can't ignore the levels of strain. Literally, the infighting between black and brown communities has always been prevalent for various reasons. Like if you research it, you'll get all kind of answers like competition for resources, stereotypes, segregation affecting us within, colorism, all that stuff plays a part in how we see each other. However, I want to make it clear, as I have done so many times before, a lot of the other POCs, people of color, those groups, they really don't want proximity to blackness. They really don't. Like when you go back historically and listen to people like Malcolm X and others talk about the totem pole and how black Americans specifically are always on the bottom of everyone's totem pole, that's not made up. So here's where my questions come in. As of late, with all the ICE raids and detaining and deportations, there has been a consistent call for black people to come help us. And we initially said, leave us alone. We minding our business. We not involved because we told y'all and you didn't want to listen. Specifically, black women have said that. But now that things are continuously getting worse and worse, now the call is like, you can't just ignore it because it's going to affect you too. Here's a question. When has anything that has affected any group of color not affected us too? It always affects us too. We are well aware that whatever happens to anybody else will affect us too, unlike other people groups. Other people groups, see, they think it won't be me. Like I can use my privilege, my hard work, my ethic, my cultural traditions, my this, my that, the things that they feel black Americans don't have. I can use that stuff to have proximity to whiteness and be accepted and assimilate, and they will see me differently. No, they still see you the same. And this is one of the main reasons why a lot of black folks now will easily tell you, do not call me a person of color. I am black. I don't want to be called BIPOC. I don't want to be called POC. That is not where I fall. I am black and it is different, period. Because even though we share similar struggles due to white supremacy, we still get filtered out among the people of color. It always happens. Right now, if you go to most places and you walk into a business of any other people of color group, whether it's a Chinese restaurant, whether it's a Mexican business, whatever it is, promise you, you will likely see other brown folks working in those places, but you will probably not see black folks working there because a lot of other POCs won't hire black people. How funny is that? So then it becomes hard for us when we get called to come help and stand in the front lines and take those first bullets and take the harm. You want us to help, but when it's us, who stands up for us? And I'm not saying no one does. I'm not saying everybody is the same there, but I'm talking about the general consensus, especially throughout history. Who stands up for us? And then my other question too, why are you only calling us? My Latino and Latina community, why are you only calling us? Like from the comments and the things I've seen on videos and in comment sections, you're calling black folks to come and help. Why aren't you specifically calling Asian folks to come help, Indian folks to come help, South Asian folks to come help, Native Americans to come help, Jewish people to come help? Why aren't you calling, if you're going to call out individual groups, call them all to come help? Not just us, but everybody always calls us because they know. They know, just like history has shown us over and over again, if black folks get the privilege and the right, then we all benefit. If they don't, we likely will feel it too. And so now that you are the first in line feeling this situation with immigration and ICE, now you call on us when we told you from the beginning what you needed to do and you didn't want to listen to us. It's hard to feel empathy for people who didn't want to listen to you, but now they need you. It's very hard. It's very hard, even for me. And I am a very empathetic person. Even when people don't deserve my empathy, I still have it, but it's hard. So I'm just trying to figure out why people can't acknowledge that black people who are saying they don't want to be involved, they don't care, it ain't got nothing to do with us, I'm minding my business, I'm resting. Why the constant call for us to come? Do you call for us to come when someone needs to be hired? Do you call for us to come in any other instance? Do you come when we need it? And I'm not saying that some of you don't. I'm talking about the general consensus. I'm talking about the elephant in the room that everybody wants to keep ignoring, which is the history of black people versus all other people of color. Any group, not even just Mexicans or Latina communities, any group, any group. We see that. We see the history of that. And no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to talk about the interracial strife and strain between the groups. Now, the content creator whose video I got sent, he was specifically talking about LA and Southern California because, baby, the history there between Mexican and black folks, Mexican folks back in the day used to literally bomb black people's homes when they moved into their neighborhoods. They didn't want them in their neighborhoods. So Mexican brown people didn't want black people moving into their neighborhoods, and they would bomb their homes, light their cars on fire, all kind of stuff. And that's not absolving black folks too. We all do stuff that is hateful towards other groups at some point because black people did stuff to Mexicans there too. And we specifically talking about California, but this has also happened in Houston. This has happened in Jersey. This has happened in New York. Like the literal disdain between the groups is something that people don't want to talk about. And at the root of it all is white supremacy. And yet the other groups can't see that until they need us. When they don't need us, there's no alliance, there's no allyship, there's nothing when we're not needed to stand on the front lines to march and protest and do what needs to be done. We are tired of only being called when we have to do what needs to be done. That's not fair in any sense of the word. It's not fair that we stand up for everybody because we know what it means to be oppressed and discriminated against, and we know how hard it is. And so when we see it, when we see other groups going through it, we literally feel for them and want to help. But now, this time, some of us are like, go to hell, leave us alone. And that's a problem because you want to ignore the elephant in the room, which is the history of the relationships within these groups. And it's even harder for the folks who sit at the intersection of both groups. You have black and Mexican folks. They both. You have folks who are a mixture. They are biracial. We often think biracial is just black and white. No, biracial is a lot of things. You have Native American and black. You have Mexican and black, Cuban and black. That's where Afro Latina and Afro Latino comes from. You have that. But because, as I've said before, everybody seemingly wants proximity to whiteness because they know how that would benefit them, it doesn't matter. It doesn't cause them to see where whiteness sees you the same way it sees us. So don't just call us when you need us and then not show up when we need you. I know I just went off on a tangent. I'm just all over the place because, like I told y'all before, I'm tired. I'm tired. So don't get mad at those who say that they're not going to help. Just lean into the folks who say that they will and let it be. All right, y'all have a beautiful, wonderful rest of the night, and I will holler at y'all later.